I think Rick, I mean, it's not an India-China issue, at least in the drug
No, no,
discovery.
some learning in terms of how is it that, what are the one or two things which Indian companies can learn from the way, the Chinese models has
They can
unfolded?
convince their government to be more supportive. I mean, that's one thing, because I see, and Rick is there, I'm sure. Have you seen China's infrastructure and the kind of support they get from their government? I'm not sure Indian government really supports it that much. I mean, if that's the case, I have no doubt in my mind that Indian scientists are as smart and as capable, and they can meet and beat them on scale. I mean, it's not an issue, but the question is where you're stuck is there is no support. So if the entrepreneur is trying to sell his shirt to get drug discovery going, I mean, that's the issue here. It's nothing more than that.
Nothing on the business model, nothing on the way you are approaching the subject.
I mean, it's more innovative business models here than I think are in China right now. There's no issue in my mind that you have very innovative business models. They're very smart entrepreneurs here. What they're looking for is support. I mean, the venture community should think about it too. I mean, drug discovery is not for faint of heart. Drug development is even for, it's difficult. The success rates, we all want to improve, but we don't. To be honest, disease is a very complicated process. And it's a changing thing. It doesn't, in oncology, I can tell you, disease changes on you. In HIV, people learn that very fast, that disease changes on you. There is, and the resistance development, and the disease always is a step ahead of you, and we're trying to catch up. And it's a difficult process. It's a long-term investment, and for that you have to have a lot of conviction and money behind it. I don't think that there's a dearth of talent or the business models here. I mean, people are very innovative. I have seen business models which blow my mind. I mean, people are very innovative here in that regard. I don't have an issue. But I think what we need is more support. The industry needs more support.
A small observation, and then I'll come back to you. A small observation to add to what he said. I am told the Indian government has a drug discovery budget of about $600 million. China has 120 billion. With that, I come to the gentleman there.
Yeah, one of the, being a public company, how hard it is or how easy it is, and what are the issues that the Indian investor community has to mature in terms of, because unless you have an exit, we don't have an NASDAQ, we don't have the pension funds and the life insurance companies investing in early stage venture capital funds, which what happens typically in US. The risky fund comes from pension funds and insurance funds. But we don't have those regulations in India. We neither have an NASDAQ, we neither have a secondary exchange for technology companies, which one Able is trying to build a secondary exchange. I don't know how far it is. But in all this, being a public company and trying to do R&D and to convince the investor base in Bombay, what are your challenges that you face?
Oh, I mean, if I have a faint heart, I would not have shut the community, especially the VCs or the fund companies. They don't put a dime. If you see, I have 50,000 shareholders, 100 shares, 200 shares like that, but no banking association. And as you could see, my market cap has gone down by 450%. So still, some 50,000 people believe in me. Still, they are holding their stock for a long time, and that's the only solace I have in this country. I don't think it will come. That's why even the big pharma, so-called big pharma in India, they have shut their shops. But you have to be crazy enough to go forward and believe in what you do until you fail. As long as you don't borrow and put into the R&D and out of the revenues generated out of the services, you put it in and capitalize on it, it's okay.
Yeah, we have time for one more question. That's the last one. Yes, Dr. Sen.
The biosimilar markets, as was put forward, is $350 million. Okay. And from what I gather is that the ballpark figure for developing a true biosimilar is anything between $50 million and $100 million. So do you think it is worth the effort? I mean, with so many Indian companies jumping into the bandwagon?
Yes. Uh, as I told you, I mean, a lot of markets right now are not open to biosimilars. And that's the big reason. So it's actually a very skewed number. The only biosimilars which have been approved right now are the what we would call as the first generation of biosimilars. And there the innovators have had an edge because of certain inexplicable reactions which happen with one of the innovators. There is always the scare with EPO that if you don't go with us, I mean, you could conceivably see that. Although Germany has already proved that that's not the case. Um, hopefully, I mean, the big chunk of most of your revenue will come from the United States, as it's been with every drug. And when that market opens up, which is already in the process, I mean, this number will change quite a bit. And also, again, at the same point in time, I mean, government regulations are going to change because no formulary prices is what the prices are for biotech drugs. So this has to somehow come down. The market will force it to come down just so that they can include people and there is enough insurance given to people. So I'm quite confident that it will.
Thank you.
Well, just to share, United States, the regulatory pathway has to clear up the United States. That is going to be evolving market. Second is the monoclonal antibodies are just behind this. Those are going to be off patent. So I think this is a sector, is the right sector to be involved in, but it is not for everybody. It takes, returns are very, very late, and one has to be very committed to stay in that. Well, with that, I think I will thank all the audience for staying that late. Thank you so very, very much.